Hello, my friends. My name is Antonio, and you are welcome to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel. The only format here on YouTube where every day I'm showing you a property for sale in the Italian market. Okay, my friends, so let's start and let me show you this property for sale in Puglia region. So we are in Apulia, if we say it in English, Puglia in Italian. So Apulia region, Brindisi province, in a town called Torchiarolo. Now, very interesting location, this one, Torchiarolo. This is one of my favorite personally in Apulia region, simply because we are in Salento area, but we are in between Lecce and Brindisi, the two big towns, let's say, in the southern part of Apulia region. So very interesting area that I'm going to show you very soon. And so we are talking about a detached house for sale in Via Madonna delle Grazie 22 in Italian. Now, as we see, it's not a detached house, but it's a terraced house, which develops only on one floor, so only ground floor. Then the asking price, my friends, 49,000 euro. Now, about the price, I have to spend few words simply because I've been searching for something cheaper than this and quite big, because the property that I'm showing you today is about 105 square meters. So we are talking about 1150 square feet. So not very small property. 4 rooms, 1 bathroom. But a lot to say about this property. But the thing is that it was very hard to find, let's say, a big size property for less than this money, with not big renovation works to do. Now, this property is in need of partial renovation, but simply because it's very hard to find quite big properties for less than this amount of money. So consider this 49,000 euro an extremely low price for this area. And technically, the property can also be negotiable. Then we'll discuss later about the price. Let's go here to Google Street View, because as usual, I've been able to find the property here. I just wrote the address here on Google Maps, Via Madonna delle Grazie 22, Torchiarolo. So we are in this town called Torchiarolo. So my friends, this is the house, and now I will show you 360 degrees. We are in the central part of the town, so it's an interesting area, nice properties around. So what can I say, my friends? So an interesting property in an interesting town, in an interesting area. Okay, my friends, now let's zoom out to understand a bit better the area. Okay, let's do like that. Let's go 3D. And so basically here we see that we have the property for sale. So now Torchiarolo is not a very small town. Basically, we have all type of services that we might need. We should be around between 5,000 and 8,000 inhabitants. Now, I don't remember exactly. Actually, technically, we can check straight away. Torchiarolo, Brindisi province. Let's see how many inhabitants. Exactly, as I said, 5,270 inhabitants. So we are not talking about a very small town. Then, as I said, I really like this area. Now, first of all, here near Torchiarolo, we have an important road that commutes Lecce to Brindisi. And now, if I keep zooming out a bit more, we see that anyway, we are just in between the two capital of the two provinces. provinces, Lecce province and Brindisi province. Southern Brindisi direction, we are already in Salento area. And anyway, we are very, very close to the seaside. So we are talking about 10, 15 minutes driving to the seaside. Then let's keep zooming out a bit more, simply to understand where we are on the map of Italy. This is mainly for all the Puglia lovers, for the Salento lovers, for the seaside lovers, and so. Let's keep zooming in. Now we go back to the town, simply because later on we'll do street view and we'll focus on the distances to the main important destinations around the town, around this property in Torchiarolo town. Okay, my friends, so now, as usual, we can start reading the property description, which is very important to understand the property for sale. Then, if you like this format, if you like this type of videos, it's highly appreciated if you put like and subscribe. Ok, now, Torchiarolo, via Madonna delle Grazie, 2222. Independent house with courtyard and terrace. Now, independent is in the Italian understanding, which is not free on four sides, but no management fees. Each house that has no management fees is considered independent. That's why you will always find detached or independent in the description. Then, I didn't say before, but this property has a little courtyard and has a terrace, which is also an extra, is a plus. Then we offer for sale in the heart of the municipality of Torchiarolo, a few steps from all essential services for a family, a large property covering a surface area of 105 square meters. As I said, 1150 square feet. That should be the size in feet. The layout of the room is a classic layout for this area, with an entrance directly into the living room with star walls. A hallway divides the living area from the sleeping area. The property comprises 4 rooms, including 3 bedrooms. Now, let's say we have one double bedroom and we have 2 single bedrooms, just to let you know. Perfect for housing a family or for those who wish to have a study or a guest room. Anyway, the size of the property is not small. Now, as you will see, because there is a virtual tour, there is plenty of space that technically can be customized. It depends anyway how if you want to go for a deep renovation or simply just to keep it as it is and to do just little works to make the house livable. A further versatile room completes the internal layout, offering the possibility to customize the spaces according to your needs. The bathroom, comfortable and well positioned, serves the entire house. Now, the fact that we have only one bathroom, I know it's not really a plus for many of you, but in this area, these type of houses generally have only one bathroom. Outside, a private garden, now I would call it little courtyard, represents an added value, ideal for moments of relaxation in the open air or for those who love gardening. Again, little space. This house represents an interesting opportunity for those who wish to live in a quiet and well-connected context. That's absolutely true because anyway, we have many business activities, many services, all in a walking distance. The flooring is marble, useful for overlaying new flooring without removing the previous one. Now, if it's marble, technically, I would keep it as it is. I won't change it. I won't cover. I won't overlay anything. I would just try to recover, to polish, anyway, to make it beautiful as it was in the beginning. The window frames are aluminum with mosquito nets. You can also find us blah blah blah. Basic features anyway, no need to repeat. We already discussed. We just say 4 rooms, 1 bathroom, good condition, natural gas, little garden, and so on. Anyway, we have a virtual tour, so we are going to inspect the property through this. Now, here we have the floor map, which technically would be interesting to see it before the virtual tour, just to give you an idea. And so, the price per square meter. Now, the asking price is 49,000 euro. The price per square meter is 467, which is, let's say, not very high price. It's not an extremely high price, 467 euro per square meter. Uh, Technically could be a bit lower, but the property overall is in a fair condition. So we are not talking about a property that is completely in need of renovation. Technically, for a property completely in need of renovation, we should go between 200 and 300 euro per square meter. Then, the statistics. This is quite important to understand the dynamics around this property. Listing updated on the 19th of June. Now, I am recording today, the 25th of July, around 10 a.m. Uh, Possibly, I believe that the property was listed on the 19th of June because reasonably 1,177 views in a month for this property, for this area, is a reasonable amount of views. 5 email inquiries proves that there is a kind of interest. 56 times safe to favorite also. We can say that anyway, there are people, actually, the 5 email inquiries, let's say they're really showing interest, direct interest. The 56 say they're showing interest, but anyway, they're just thinking about. Okay, now let's go to the floor map and let's investigate a bit. Let's go full screen. Now, the entrance is from the bottom of the picture, where we see ingresso, which it means entrance. Via Madonna delle Grazie, that's the main street. So we have a living area, we have a bedroom. The living area has a star vaulted ceiling. Then DIS is disimpegno in Italy, is a kind of hall that connects living area to the, let's say, kitchen, dining area. Tinello, that's what we call. PL is a little space, little open space that we have in the middle of the house to make the bedrooms, let's say, with windows. Then we have 2 small bedrooms here beside the kitchen. We have the bathroom, and then cortile, which is the courtyard. R is for ripostiglio, so little storage room, and then we have the terrace. Okay, this to give you an idea. And now, my friends, we can go straight away to the virtual tour to understand the property, to investigate, to see as much as we can of this property for sale. Okay, here we are. And so I want to go full screen. I don't see the option here to go full screen, which is a bit disappointing. Okay, for now anyway, my friends, let's go like this. Okay, have already moved too much. So let's go back here to the entrance living area. So basically, we have an interesting space, quite big, quite spacious, as we see. And so here in this room, we have the star vaulted ceiling. Anyway, as usual, I will share the link below in the description for you also to have a look to this property for sale if you are interested. Anyway, here we have this big room. We have these old but interesting floor tiles with this marble style, with this kind of different tiles creating a square in the middle of the room. Overall, a structure which is in a good condition, and I would say that doesn't require a massive renovation. Here we are talking about just to pay attention to the details. And so let's do a 360 degrees. I'd say that the electrical system is a bit old, but not completely dated. So I'd say it could last. It could be still in a good condition. Then we have this lovely door here. This is the hall, let's say, this corridor that connects the living area to the dining area and kitchen. And here we have the entrance to the bedroom. Okay, so let's go here into the bedroom, simply to show you. And so basically now we see that the bedroom has a window. Now this window is facing a little courtyard in the middle of the house, which is covered, so means it's not raining under this area. It's simply to give light and to make the room bright enough. Now, we see anyway the property needs to be painted. Absolutely, that's a must. We see very high ceilings. Okay, we have lovely floor tiles, these cementina style tiles. And anyway, we have a quite spacious bedroom. Spacious enough here with a virtual tour. Let's say it doesn't look very spacious, but it is much bigger than it looks like. And so we see that this bedroom has double access. We can access to the bedroom here from the living area, and we can access the bedroom also from the dining area. But anyway, there's plenty of space in this property, and with a bit of imagination, for example, I can give you an idea at the end of the video what I would do personally to make the house even more livable, but we have plenty of spaces. Okay, so we saw the living room, we saw the bedroom, now we go through this corridor here with this big piece of furniture, which is completely useless, in my opinion, in this area, in this room. Technically, anyway, this is another space, and here we have a vaulted barrel ceiling, not a star one. It's not star vaulted, but we have a barrel, which is quite interesting. Without this big piece of furniture, I would say the room would gain a good amount of space. We have this lovely old door style, which I personally really, really like. So I will never replace this type of old doors if I find. I'd rather restore them. Okay, let's keep walking and let's enter into the dining area. Kitchen dining area. Now here we see a very interesting space because anyway, this is for me a kind of second living area. We have the first one at the main entrance. Then we have this big space here, which obviously is connected with the kitchen. Here we see that we have this little area, this little outdoor space, as I said, that is covered, okay, with an extra window here. So, but is a covered little outdoor space, simply to give light, as I said, to the bedroom, okay, to the master bedroom, and to one of the two single bedrooms. As I said, there are two single bedrooms, and this is one of the two bedrooms. The window frames looks all fine. They all look fine. There are aluminum window frames, and so I won't see the urgency to replace. Maybe I'm not really a fan, not the best, but the same that I have in my house. So typical of the mid 90s, not even early 2000, I'd say typical of the mid 90s renovation. Then the floor tile in this area is quite good, different obviously from the one that we have in the bedroom and in the main entrance. Probably during the years they have extended the house. Initially, probably the property ended here, where the bedroom is and where the corridor is with the living area, and then they have extended during the years. Anyway, we see that here we have the second access to the bedroom, which, anyway, here there is a lack of a door. That's what I would do to give more privacy to the bedroom. Okay, and then here we are in this second living space, or technically what I would do, simply to move the table here in this room to make it kind of dining area here, and to give more space to the kitchen. Then let's enter in one of the two single bedrooms. And again, here we are facing this little courtyard with the window of the master bedroom. So we have a single room that technically, in a smart way, this single bed could turn into a double, for example. In many houses in the 80s, technically 80s, late 80s, early 90s, they were arranging these small rooms with this type of bed that it was possible to open and to create a double bed. Also, this room without, let's say, without a door, but that's what I would do to put, anyway, to put a door here to have a studio, for example, because again, in my understanding, this house has a potential, has a big potential to make a very interesting living house where it's possible to live, not only as a summer holiday home. Then we have a kitchen overall in a good condition. Again, plenty of furniture on the right, on the left, this dining table in the middle, which I'm not really a fan, and it's a quite big table, so it's taking a lot of space. We see here we have AC, air conditioner, then we have access to the courtyard, we have the bedroom, the bathroom, sorry, and then here we have the second single bedroom, which I want to show you here. Okay, let's enter. The same concept, let's say, of the previous room is wide the same, and technically could be open without this desk. Let's say we have space to make it double bed in case we have guests. Then here we are facing, I like this property because all the rooms have a window, which is very important for me, even if we know that in this type of houses, many rooms, sometimes rooms in the middle of the house, don't have windows. So here we see the access to the terrace and to the little courtyard. We go back to the kitchen here, okay, where we see anyway the kitchen, this second living space. Kitchen overall in a good condition. I'd say all it needs, mainly this property, is to be repainted properly, replaster partially some walls that might need a bit of attention, technically to fix the doors of the two bedrooms, of the rooms. For example, also this room doesn't have a door, which, for example, for this room, I could even keep it. I'll tell you later at the end. So now, here we have the bathroom, and the bathroom overall is in a fair condition. We see the bathroom went through some renovation much more recently, and I can tell you because, again, the tank of the flush of the toilet is already inside the wall. So the new concept, new understanding. So again, we have also here they replace partially the electrical system in the bathroom. Not very big, but a bathroom which a big doesn't require big attention. I would keep it as it is. Now let's go back to the price, 49,000 euro, which it might sound a bit high considering the type of houses that I'm searching, which are generally inexpensive. But as I said, in this area, very hard to find lower than this in such a condition. But I could consider that the price would also be negotiable. The best, let's say, it would be to get it for 40,000 euro. That would be the best solution. Um, okay, let me. Here we are in this little quarter because they say garden. Again, before we call this space garden, you need to have at least, a bit of soil where to grow something, some trees. But here, anyway, we have a lovely space with this sink, with the tap, technically possible to enjoy outdoor times with with a table, with a round table, few chairs, where to enjoy coffee, tea, breakfast. Now here we have a storage room. Is in the outdoor area. This is the window of the bathroom. This area is partially covered, but we also have partially uncovered. Here we have another little corner where to storage things just under the stairs. And then we have the stairs which are leading up to the terrace, which they are not showing. There are no pictures here showing the terrace. But anyway, I believe the terrace is all over the size of the property. Then this is the window of the second bedroom with the mosquito nets. All the doors have mosquito nets, which is extremely important in this area. Now, my friends, I tell you what I would technically do on top of repainting, replastering, removing furniture simply to give even a modern style. I tell you this now here because we have we have the sink here in the kitchen. I believe in this room it's possible to make easily, because we already have the piping system on this wall, easily possible to make a second bathroom. And that's what I will make in this room. Second bathroom. Okay, so technically with a second bathroom we gain, let's say, more comfort. Then here we are in this living space, which I would use more as dining area. Here I would keep this small bedroom. I would keep it more as a studio. So all these two rooms, I would simply not use them anymore, not use them anymore as bedrooms. And now I would give you the solution to make a second bedroom, which for me is the best solution. And because we are here in the living room, in the main entrance room, here I would go for a mezzanine floor. And I would make a lovely and spacious bedroom, let's say second bedroom, on top on the mezzanine floor here. Simply because this room is quite big and the ceilings are very high, and that's what a lot of people do in this type of houses. In this way, I have a functional and livable living room. Then I have a functional and useful bedroom on the top, let's say on the mezzanine floor. Then we have the bedroom. Then here we have this hall, which technically I would simply remove this wall to make it a kind of bigger open space. If I want to go for some renovation works, I would go for that. And then I would use also more this space here, which is kind of for me a second living area. But as we see, this property has plenty of space and not really massive renovation works. So we are not talking about hundreds of euro, hundreds of thousand. I'd say that here between the bathroom, no, now the main bathroom is already in a good condition. I wouldn't renovate. I would go for a second bathroom that could cost between, by the size of this room, I'd say between 6 and 9,000 euro, maybe up to 10,000, depends. Maybe even less, maybe with 5, 6,000 we can make it. The mezzanine floor, a few doors, and then if we really want to give a plus, I would go for solar panels on the terrace, simply to go completely electric. Simply because they say there is heating system in the house, but I didn't see any radiators. Okay, my friends, this is it. I showed you all the property. We have investigated. I gave you my idea. This is the type of house that I would go for. Actually, technically, let's say this one. Let's say this, if you're watching up to now. Uh, I live in Montemilone. I'm happy where I live, but I would like to live personally in this area. I really like the area that goes between Brindisi and Lecce, the two big cities in the southern part of Salento, very close to the sea. And now we'll go and investigate the distances. Okay, so let's go here on Google Maps and let's focus on the distances. Let's start from Brindisi simply because we are in Brindisi province. Now, Brindisi, let's see how okay, I made a mistake. Now, let's rewrite the address. Let's do indicazioni. So, and let's focus on Brindisi. Brindisi, within English translated literally, Brindisi means cheers. Facciamo un brindisi. So when you cheer up. Okay, my friends. So technically, by public transport, we reach Brindisi in 42 minutes. Okay, so we need to take a bus from Torchiarolo to San Pietro Vernotico. Now, my favorite town in this area is actually San Pietro Vernotico and Squinzano, simply because we have the railway and are easily connecting the two cities, which are Lecce and Brindisi. Now, we know in Brindisi we have an international airport. Also, this train goes up to Bari, where we have the biggest international airport in Apulia region. So anyway, in 43 minutes by transport, we are in Brindisi. Then by car, it takes only 17 minutes, so less than 20 minutes. Technically, you can even commute and work in Brindisi, technically. So this is my favorite area. That's where personally I would relocate. I'm a sea lover, but I don't really, even if I'm a sea lover, I don't like the idea to live too close to the seaside. I prefer to live in a shorter distance that would be 10, 15 minutes driving. It's not an effort for me to drive 10, 15 minutes, simply because if I live on the sea, I would only be focusing, let's see, close to the area where I live. But if I live here, technically I can pick every day a different destination. And I prefer the idea to keep changing, depends, to discover new places. Okay, and then consider that this area during the wintry months is not really inhabited, which is something that I don't like. I prefer to live in a bigger town with all the services, even during the wintry months. Okay, now let's focus on Lecce to see how far we are from Lecce. Now, from Torchiarolo to Lecce by car takes 21 minutes. It takes 21 minutes to reach already Lecce Center, which is another beautiful city famous for the Apulian Baroque. By transport, Lecce is a bit tiny bit longer, but again, we have to, it depends, 1 hour and 10 minutes here. Let's see, for example, 1 hour and 6 minutes. So there is a direct bus that the journey starts at 1:30 from Lecce and arrive at 2:35 in Torchiarolo. Okay, then we have 50 minutes at 2:17, 2 p.m., 2:20 p.m. We have, actually, let's go back here. 2:20 p.m. From Lecce, we have a train that goes to San Pietro Vernotico, only 18 minutes. Then from San Pietro Vernotico, 1 minute by walk, we reach the bus station, where there is the bus from San Pietro Vernotico to Torchiarolo, which is only 7 minutes. Technically, we waste 20 minutes because we have to wait for the bus in San Pietro Vernotico, 20 minutes. But again, as we see, it's not a big distance if we want to reach Lecce or Brindisi by public transport. Okay, and now let's focus on the seaside. And let's see, via Madonna delle Grazie. Now, here we have 3 locations, Torre San Gennaro, Land in Uso, and Casalabate. Also, there is Torre Rinalda, Torre Chianca, which are extremely beautiful locations. But let's see just the closer, Land in Uso. Land in Uso. Let's see how far we are from Land in Uso. Okay, here is by public transport. Basically, they want you to go back here, but let's see by car in this case. So we reach the seaside, we reach Land in Uso only in 8 minutes driving, which is simply nothing. 5.6 kilometers, 5.9, 6.4. Okay, the shortest is this one for 8 minutes, 5.6 kilometers. Okay, my friends. So basically we have investigated the distances, and now let's do a bit of Google Street View. Again, town which is 5,000, more than 5,000 inhabitants. There are grocery shops, there are bars, restaurants, banks, post office, pharmacies. Then we are very close to Brindisi, where we have hospital. Let's say in 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes, we are already in Brindisi. So let's say from Via Madonna delle Grazie, we try to drive through this road, which is going in southern direction, Via Umberto I, Via Principe Amedeo. So we are in a kind of one of the main streets. Let's see. So technically, if we go this way, we go to the outskirts of the town. If we go this way, we go to the inner part of the town. This is the property, this one painted in pink. So Via Madonna delle Grazie 22. And let's keep going, simply to investigate a bit the area. Now, this picture was taken in April 2023. I believe this picture was taken during lunchtime because we don't see anyone in the street. Here we have a pizzeria. So, pizzeria entrata. So basically, we can have local pizza, baked pizza in a 2 minutes, 1 minute walking. So we are already in the square where we find bars, gelateria, so ice cream shops, pharmacy. What else we have? Tabacchi shop, where they sell tobaccos. Milan Club, if you're a Milan fan, Milan supporter, AC Milan Football Club. And so here we keep walking to the center direction. Okay, in this lovely area with another restaurant here. Let's see what's the name. Ristorante Zona Fao. Anyway, and more businesses activities. Then, as we see, is a well looked after town. Here we have a bar. Here we have a clothes shop. So it's a kind of, it's not completely, uh, it's not a town without services. Here we have another bar, Castle Bar. So where we have here the old part of the castle, Torchiarolo Castle. Here we have the main church. Here we have another bar. My friends, let me know your opinion about this property for sale here in Salento. Actually, that's not the main church. Here we are facing the main one. So, my friends, from this main church here, let me know your opinion. It's highly appreciated. What else can I say? Property overall in a good condition, quite spacious. Not, let's say, I said good condition. Technically with big potential, not far from the sea, not far from Brindisi, not far from Lecce, in a lovely and vibrant town. 49,000 euro. The best would be to get it for 40. Let's say, if there is the chance to get, let's say, a lower price, then that would be fantastic. Again, my friends, anyway, this is the town. I wish you a lovely day, and I'll see you here on Italy a Place to Love YouTube channel tomorrow for another property for sale in one of the beautiful regions of Italy. Bye!